When my presentation ended, one doctor stood up, then another, until the entire room erupted with a rousing standing ovation. And that was when I knew that this was just too important. I had to get it out into the world now, even if it meant leaking some of the content from my upcoming book. It's my #1 key to feeling slimmer without crash dieting, having more energy to do the things you love, being in a happier mood, freeing yourself from digestive issues, as all of those things lead to having a healthier, younger looking appearance. I know what it feels like to be judged for how you look. And I can also tell you, looking great is the best revenge. And I'm living proof that getting a great looking body does not have to be a struggle other people have made it out to be. To start, we need to look inside. This here is your stomach. Craving sweets, fast food, carbs, or any other foods you know are bad for you. Your stomach is where those cravings start. Something I've wondered ever since I was a student at Yale is why don't we crave good foods that make us lean? And why does everything that tastes good have to be bad for us? Well, here's a fact about your own body that may startle you. You already know your body is made up of cells. However, did you also know that for every cell in your body, you have 9 microbes that are not human? Yes, you heard me correctly. Call them bacteria, microbes, or flora, but you have a lot of them living in your system. Around 25 trillion to be exact. And scientists now know these microbes are just as important to our survival as our human cells. In fact, we could not even survive without them. They help us fight off infections and airborne illnesses. And most importantly, they help us digest the things we eat. Where do they come from? We get our first dose of microbes from our mothers as we come out through the birth canal. And to show you how important they are, we now know that babies born by C-section are much more likely to become sick during their first 6 months, as they don't have these critical microbes to help them fight off illness. As biologist Sarkis K. Mazmanian of the California Institute of Technology says, just because microbes are foreign doesn't mean they're any less a fundamental part of us. And I agree. It's only in the last 10 years we have begun extensively studying them. We now know that most of our microbes reside in our gut, which is your stomach, large and small intestines, and colon. It's there they help us digest the food we eat, and along the way, eat some of it for themselves. And get this, these microbes can send messages directly to your brain. They use your body's own hormones to communicate directly with your neocortex. When they communicate, your brain listens. You see, your brain relies on your microbes to know what's happening in your stomach, what you've been eating, how your food is digesting, and what foods you need more of. The way I tell my patients is to think of your microbes like a rainforest. There is an entire ecosystem of living organisms down there that call your digestive tract home. Your brain knows that keeping this rainforest healthy is critical to keeping your body healthy. So when your microbes tell your brain what they need, it listens. However, here's where things can go dangerously wrong. When I'm giving a lecture, I often ask the room, raise your hand if as a child your parents gave you antibiotics. Most hands go up. Would you have raised your hand as well? Did you receive antibiotics as a child? Or have you taken them within the last 2 years? I hate to say it. But in my opinion, antibiotics are one of the biggest curses that ever happened to us. I went to medical school in the Dark Ages, in 1973. Back in those days, broad-spectrum antibiotics had just come out, things like Keflex. They were miracle drugs because they allowed us to kill off most infections. However, we now know that antibiotics don't just kill off infections. One round of antibiotics kills off the entire rainforest of your good gut microbes as well. Remember the last time you had a sore throat or a cough? Many times when this happens, a person will take a week's worth of antibiotics. And when they do, their microbe rainforest is devastated. So think of your gut microbes as a lush rainforest, where there's this incredible ecology that's taken years to establish. Well, in one single week, you can completely wipe it out, just as if it was a real forest and a fire went through it. That's exactly what happens when you take antibiotics. And here's something else I tell my patients. Even if you have never taken antibiotics, you can also be in trouble if you eat meat regularly. Studies now show that antibiotics given to farm animals are passed on when they are eaten by humans. Every time you eat non-organically grown meat, you are essentially taking a low dose of antibiotics, which can kill off your good microbes. Now, I'm not going to tell you to stop eating meat. However, it is important that I now reveal to you that so-called healthy additive that's probably in your pantry that could be the result of all of your digestive issues. Because if you found yourself having digestive issues, that is your digestive tract screaming, help. Nod your head if you've ever had a Splenda in your coffee in the last 6 months. If so, I have some unfortunate news. Duke University showed in 2008 that one pack of Splenda kills off 50% of the microbes in your gut. And Splenda is also the main sweetener in many diet sodas. So if you've ever put Splenda in your coffee or drank a diet soda, you swallowed a bomb that destroyed your rainforest. Now, I want you to picture a real rainforest for me. And now, picture a forest fire coming along and wiping it out. Then, let's say we take some tree seeds and plant them in the ground. How long do you think it will take for a mature forest of trees and plants to grow back? If you said a really, really long time, you are right. Well, the same is true in your gut. We now know that one round of antibiotics can disrupt your good gut microbes for up to 2 years. And we now have scientific proof that these good microbes are critically important for weight management. For example, this is a friendly microbe known as H. pylori. Do you remember how I told you that these microbes can communicate with your brain? In a groundbreaking study performed at New York University, Martin Blaser, professor of internal medicine and microbiology, discovered that H. pylori communicates with your brain about one thing in particular. That is your ghrelin levels. What is ghrelin? Ghrelin is known as the hunger hormone. It's what tells your brain that you are hungry. When you wake up in the morning and want breakfast, it's because your ghrelin levels are high. After you eat, your ghrelin levels go down. And what sends the signal to ghrelin to go down is the good microbe H. pylori. However, in today's society, not everyone even has the microbe H. pylori. In fact, now less than 6% of American children test positive for it. Where does the H. pylori go? In most cases, it's wiped out by antibiotics. By the time they reach age 15, most children in America have had multiple rounds of antibiotics to treat various ailments.